Hey, what's good, people? It's your boy LJ Mentor. If you ever thought about starting a podcast, may not know where to go, you might think it's hard to do. That's actually not true. I got the perfect place for you to start. You can go with Anchor. It's free, it's very simple to use, has all the creation tools you could possibly need, and it could distribute your podcast for you across many podcast platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You trying to get paid, right? Well, you don't have to have any minimum listeners, and podcasts can make money for you. You got something to talk about. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Just download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. What's good, people? We back at it. Another episode of the What's the Word with LJ Mentor podcast. And as always, I'm your host with the most, LJ Mentor. Yeah, appreciate you for listening. People that's been listening and rocking with me, really appreciate you. Now let's get right into it. This episode might be a little longer because I got a lot to talk about today. There's been some wild shit going on, and yeah, I just gotta get right into it. So let me start with this. First of all, just want to talk about a few things as far as I'm gonna address Lyft and Uber. It's been something going on. It hasn't been really been talked about in the news or anything national, even though it's a California issue. It hasn't really been talked about, and I think it really needs to be addressed. So apparently, Lyft and Uber is potentially going to suspend their services where drivers won't be able to drive. And if you take Lyft or Uber, you won't be able to get any rides until allegedly November. Now, there's a possibility that won't be the case, but there's a major possibility that that is going to happen starting tomorrow, this coming Thursday, the 20th. And if you listen to me from the East Coast, it might be a little later in the day. Still Wednesday, so this episode will be posted on Wednesday. Just we got a little later today, had some things to take care of, been busy. So yeah, but back to Lyft and Uber. So yeah, that apparently, if you already know about it, apparently a California judge and has passed a law that apparently ride sharing, you can no longer have independent contractors, and they forcing Lyft or Uber to, and also anything ride sharing also includes Instacart, Postmates, along with a bunch of other app services, those that pick up food and groceries, things like that. But yeah, they're saying that you can no longer be independent contractors. They're forcing them to make them employees. So I was reading up on this week, and apparently what that means is right now, Lyft and Uber, people that drive for Lyft and Uber, I do it myself from time to time along with other things. That basically means that you no longer, if they do have employees, you have to have a set, according to what I read, what the CEO of Lyft said, that they have to have a set schedule and no longer control when and where you want to drive. And you have to have set breaks and so forth. Sort of like, I guess, if you work in some other job, a 9 to 5, something like that, and it'll be more structured like that. And they'll have certain benefits, and they'll have a certain amount per hour salary, so stuff like that. But if this is the case, the format that they're going with, if that is the case, you'll be making a lot less money, and they can only hire a certain amount of people. They said they would only be able to hire 20% of the people in California that works for Lyft and Uber right now. So the 80%, I already know. I've spoken to other people that do Lyft and Uber, spoken to some passengers as well. And a lot of the people that do Lyft and Uber, they do it part time because they do multiple things, multiple jobs. There's a lot of people in LA that are content creators. They have other jobs. They have whatever the case may be. But there's a lot of people in LA doing multiple different have multiple ways of income, and Lyft and Uber may be a significant part of that. Whether you do it full time or not, this affects all of us greatly. So yeah, it's crazy that this isn't being talked about. And I've been talking to people about it just to get the word out. Seeing if you can message Lyft and Uber, whether it be social media or call them, just so you can so you can raise hell about this shit, because this shit is crazy. They really starting threatening to take away the services, or for your driver to get paid, or if you're a passenger to if you need to get around. Because I know a lot of people in California, if you rely on Lyft and Uber to get around, so they threatening to take that away, at least for temporarily. So they also said, I was reading also, if that does happen, there will be a number to call and an email to reach out to. They said they will release that information tomorrow if in fact that does happen. So we'll see. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but yeah, we need to raise hell about it if it does, because there's some other bullshit. So yeah. And this week, the word of the week is I was thinking about this, efficiency. And the reason why I say efficiency is because there's a lot of inefficient bullshit going on in the country right now. This week, um, for example, as far as the way Lyft and Uber is handling this, um, is not very efficient. But that could change. You never know. This shit might change. You never know. And also brings me to my next topic, as far as Donald Trump, Dope 45. Um, he's attempting to defund the post office. I'm sure you've heard about this by now. This has been in national news. It's been talked about everywhere, and it seems like a lot of people don't care, from what I've seen. And people raising hell about a Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion song that literally does not affect your life in the slightest. But this actually does. Donald Trump is threatening to defund the post office to stop mail-in voting. He's literally trying to sabotage the election, just like he allegedly did in 2016. So, I mean, I have to say allegedly because you never know. But Donald Trump is literally trying to take away our democracy. Like, he's really trying to sabotage this election. Whether you vote for the dude or not, I mean, we can't really say this is going to be a fair election. Whether you vote for him, vote for Biden, it's crazy that this man is literally doing everything in his power to really give people hell. He's trying to give the American public hell. Not only is he a bigoted racist, and I don't need to get into all of the different things that he's done to prove that because there's too many. But yeah, this is just one of the latest things that Donald Trump has tried to do. And I don't want to make this show completely about politics, but it's something that we just can't avoid talking about, because at the end of the day, it does affect everyone. And whether if you for Donald Trump or not, I don't see why anyone will be for Donald Trump. But if whether you for him or not, this still affects everybody. And how can you just watch him try and sabotage an election? Like, that's crazy. Even if you for the dude, how can you be for that, man? That's absolutely crazy. I don't know why you would support that. To each his own. But end of the day, it's not right. Along with the many other things that Donald Trump has done, it's not right. And we got to keep we got to hold these politicians accountable for what they're doing. And let's not just talk about this problem. There's something you can do about it, though. For starters, there's a number you can contact called, and the number is 50409. And you text that number, you text USPS to that number, and that sends letters to your local officials to save the post office. So again, that number is 40409. And you text USPS to that number, and it sends letters to your local officials. When I did it this week myself. And at the time, I think it was 1.3 million people that did it. So yeah, I think they were trying to get over 2 million. So yeah, we just got our plans into action about this, because we can't just let this dude just take our democracy. This shit is crazy. And I also heard Nancy Pelosi speak on this as well. I'm not sure what she's gonna actually do. She apparently spoke about getting somewhere along the lines of $20 billion to go towards the post office, and to counter what Donald Trump said, that he wants to defund the post office. So we'll see. I don't know if they're going to come off the hiatus. I know that the Congress was also working on a second stimulus package, so I don't know if they're going to tie that into this, or I don't know. But I know Nancy Pelosi definitely spoke on it this week as well. So it's crazy. We can't just let this dude do this. And so that brings me to what I want to talk about next, going into the Democratic National Convention this week. And quite honestly, I wanted to pay attention to it, and I'm going to watch the Republican National Convention as well, because I like to hear both sides. You could think whatever you want on me. I could care less, because I just like to hear both sides. But I'll let you know point blank, I'm voting for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. So it is what it is, but I want to hear both sides. Mainly voting for Kamala Harris and not really Joe Biden, because I feel like Kamala Harris actually will have an agenda for not just the people, but Black people as well. I think at the end of the day, Black people have been getting ignored. They've honestly been blind followers of the Democratic Party for way too damn long, I feel like. And I feel like Kamala Harris can really help move us forward. And with her being side by side with Joe Biden, I think she can help correct him in a lot of areas where he's been fucking up. So yeah, I'm rooting for Kamala Harris. Let's do this. And honestly, I think she will eventually end up president. I really believe that. Whether Joe Biden steps down after a year or two and lets her take over, I think for a while, I honestly thought that Donald Trump was inevitably going to win this election. Like, I honestly thought that, like, a couple months ago. I'm like, yeah, he's probably going to win again. Like, I had no hope. Like, I'm like, this is our option. Like, Joe Biden is the lone survivor from the other side, and everybody acts like these are the only two parties available. Not an independent party, not libertarian, not any of the other parties. We really act like every election that Democrat and Republican are the only parties. Obviously, they're the largest, but we got to stop acting like those are the only two parties available, and nobody else gets a legitimate shot. But the only option is this time Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. So yeah, I'm going with that. But yeah, this Democratic National Convention, they really had, like, it was typical. Like, the talking points were the same. The first night was all right, but honestly, Tuesday night, last night, that shit was really boring. It was. That shit was boring as hell. Like, they all were saying the same exact thing about Joe Biden. And also, what's the girl's name? She spoke last night. She actually was endorsing Bernie Sanders last night. Alexandria. Oh, I can't pronounce the middle name. AOC. Alexandria Cortez. I was it. So yeah, she was actually on last night. She was still endorsing Bernie Sanders. So that's kind of crazy that they're not even on the same page. Everyone as a collective group. So that was really interesting that she was still endorsing Bernie Sanders, even though he dropped out quite some time ago. Um, but yeah, at the end of the day, it was the most interesting thing to me was seeing so far was all the former Republicans who are endorsing Joe Biden. Um, so yeah, that was the biggest takeaway I've seen from it so far. But all the talking points were typical, I think, for the most part, of the endorsing of Joe Biden. But I'm surprised Monday night when Michelle Obama gave her speech, the headlining the first night, the the former great First Lady Michelle Obama. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm sure she's gonna say something about Kamala Harris, but she didn't. I was really surprised by that. But it was recorded before Kamala Harris was actually announced as the VP, so that makes perfect sense. Because I was surprised. I'm like, why she ain't say nothing about Kamala Harris? But yeah, it makes sense, and she probably didn't want to just at the time it was recorded just assume that okay, Kamala Harris is going to be the VP. So I get it. Um, but yeah, it was a great speech by Queen Michelle Obama. So I'm not trying to knock her at all. I'm just saying I'm just surprised that they're not mentioning Kamala Harris' name as much. But yeah, that's cool. And just staying on Joe Biden real quick. Just want to talk about a conversation that he had with Cardi B. Cardi B interviewed Joe Biden. It was I think she interviewed him a few weeks ago, but it was released this week. And I heard her talking about how she interviewed Joe Biden, and she previously interviewed Bernie Sanders as well. Um, but yeah, it was I think 13-minute conversation somewhere along the lines of that. And I love that Cardi had um, her own demands, things that she wanted. But quite honestly, and this is no knock to Cardi B because I fuck with Cardi B. She's a dope artist. But honestly, from the hip hop community, if they're gonna do that, and this obviously shows too that by having Cardi B, that Joe Biden is trying to get a certain demographic from doing this with Cardi B. Uh, I really wish if we were gonna have somebody from the hip hop community, I really wish it would have been Killer Mike because I feel like Killer Mike would have really put his foot on his neck, not literally but figuratively, as far as policy, things that we need as a black community, things we need in the brown community, things we need for everybody. And I really feel like Killer Mike would have been the perfect person to do that with. I'm not sure how Killer Mike feels about Joe Biden. I know he endorsed Bernie Sanders quite some time back, so I don't know if he would have did it. Because I know he liked Bernie Sanders. I don't know how he feels about Joe Biden, but I feel like Killer Mike would have been a perfect person to do this type of interview with. If they want to do that for the hip hop community, because honestly, I feel like other than Tupac Shakur, I think Tupac obviously is not here anymore. Is the most articulate when it comes to doing interviews and speaking to people. I feel like if you're gonna do anybody from hip hop, Tupac was the best communicator who could articulate um, great talking points to anybody. And since Tupac is not here and available, I feel like the next best option is Killer Mike. I really believe that Killer Mike is the closest thing we got to a militant brother in the hip hop community who could really get the point across as far as what we want to see from politicians. But Cardi B did good though. She was her funny self as usual. With a few things she said, and it was cool. It wasn't a bad interview. And it was funny how in the middle, I'm not sure. I think she called him Biden in the beginning. It sounded like she said Bay at first. I'm like, you call him Bay? But no, she said Biden. I think, and he's like, name's Joe, name's Joe. So it was a little funny, playful interaction between them in the beginning. Um, but yeah, I'm not sure if you haven't heard it yet. It's on YouTube. I feel like it was a good conversation, but I feel like Joe Biden even could have used that opportunity when Cardi B said, "Okay, yeah, I want free college education. I want black people to stop getting killed." Uh, yeah, I feel like Joe Biden could have used that opportunity to say, "Okay, this is what I'm going to do for the black community." That would have been a perfect opportunity, and people would have felt more confident. Now, if he would actually, because I mean, you're always going to have your doubters and people that say, "Okay, just prove it," because we know politicians are supposed to get your hopes up and lie to you. So but I don't feel like he used that opportunity to really say, like, okay, this is my black agenda. This is what I'm gonna do for you guys. Like you really have been riding for me this whole time, and I want to do something for y'all. But he didn't. Um, maybe he'll save that for the debates. We'll see. And I'm looking forward to see a vice presidential debate between Mike Pence and Kamala Harris. I think Kamala Harris is gonna rip Mike Pence a new one, and I'm looking forward to that. So he shall see. It's it in the day here. So yeah, I'm gonna watch the rest of the Democratic convention. I think it's on tonight and Thursday night. So I guess I'm not gonna be seeing that live, but I'm gonna take a look at it. And so yeah, I'm gonna watch both conventions, the Democratic convention this week and the Republican next week. So yeah, just to see, like, 'cause I'm kind of curious how they're gonna do it next week too. Is it gonna be Trump being, and is he gonna have everyone on this other side being petty? Like, it's gonna be, yeah. I'm just interested to see how both sides. So yeah, we'll see how that goes down. So yeah, I'm gonna, like I said, I got a few things. I got more things to talk about this week. So I'm taking a little tiny hiatus real quick, and I'll be right back. What's good, people? We back at it. This is the second half of the episode. The What's the Word with LJ Mental Podcast. Yeah, we back at it. Yeah, let's get back into this motherfucker. So, the next thing I want to talk about is I wasn't even going to talk about this, but I feel like it need to be addressed. This guy, Takashi 69. I wasn't going to talk about this guy. Had no interest in talking about him. Didn't want to give him any attention. But this shit is crazy. This guy is very disrespectful. This dude decided to, I believe it was late last week. I think he was here till beginning this week too. I could be wrong about that, but I know it was late last week. He came to LA and did something very disrespectful. Um he calls himself paying homage to the late great Nipsey Hussle. Also, his birthday was just this past on the 15th, I believe. Uh, respect to Nipsey Hussle. I was a big fan of Nipsey Hussle. But yeah, Takashi 69 decided to come to LA and take pictures in front of his mural in the hood of near Crenshaw and Slauson. He also was somewhere in LA where he just decided, obviously with his big ass bodyguards, to just throw money at the people. Um, and I'm all for living your life like it's golden. The reason why I still have a problem with Takashi 69, besides the snitching, I'm not even gonna get into that because that's whack as fuck within itself, the snitching. But him just continuing to taunt people that you mad, oh, I'm out, you mad. And I remember he called out Snoop Dogg and some other people, accusing them of ratting on people. I'm like, this nigga is crazy. But yeah, I just don't. I have no respect for somebody like that to continue. It's like he clearly hasn't learned his lesson. Um, Whether you rock with 6 or 9 or not, that's cool. But if you seriously believe that this fool, if you think 6ix9ine had a point by ratting, then no. Like the main issue I have with 6ix9ine, why I spoke about, is because he came to LA doing the disrespectful shit he did, and I don't like it. So, and I know a lot of people in LA don't like it, and I'm shocked. And don't take this the wrong way. Like I'm shocked this dude is still alive. I really am. I'm not calling for him to be killed or nothing like that. I don't wish death on nobody. But to be perfectly honest, I'm shocked. I can't believe, I'm really shocked that he's still alive. Because at the end of the day, like he's doing super disrespectful shit. He sent his people that he got locked up. Um, the people that loved him is mad as hell at this dude. And now you come into the West Coast trying to shit be super disrespectful to other people out here. Like that shit, that's clown shit. And I don't support that. Like I'm sorry, I will never support that. And this will be the last time I speak on 69. Regardless, I have no interest in giving him any more attention at all. No matter what happens, I have no interest like in giving this fool any attention at all. I just wanted to speak on it because, yeah, that shit bothered me. That shit is crazy that he came to LA doing that. When this Nipsey wouldn't have fucked with you, bro. Like he was on a song with Rick Ross, and he had a line where he said, I don't want to quote it wrong. He said, "Picture, picture niggas not exposed. How you niggas so surprised that Takashi told? Like he would not fuck with you, bro." I'm sorry. He said, "Can't name a fake nigga that was not exposed. How you niggas so surprised that Takashi told?" Nipsey literally got killed not wanting to fuck with a snitch. But yet you go over here trying to celebrate Nipsey like, oh yeah, I rock with you, I fuck with you, all this other shit. Um, you never did that when he was here. And Nipsey wouldn't have fucked with you. Like he clearly didn't. He rapped about it. Like he had records about like not fucking with people like you. So I'm sorry, that was just real disrespectful. So that'll be the last I speak of 6ix9ine, and that's the end of that negative segment. But I feel like I had to be speak on it, and I'm gonna leave it alone. So I gotta talk about this movie that came out last Friday called Project Power. Jamie Foxx is in it. Um, it's on Netflix. You can watch it. It's actually I thought it was a very, very, very good movie. I thought it was dope. It was a real interesting take on supernatural abilities, and I feel like it had a little bit of Marvel elements in it, which is cool, but I think the overall take on it was really dope. Um, had a young actress in it named Dominique Fishback. She's from New York. Had Levitt in it. Joseph Gordon-Levitt in it. It was a very good movie. I thought it was interesting as far as like the abilities, like these so-called pills, and it's almost like a mystery box, right? Because anybody that takes a pill, like you never know, because it is very fatal, it can kill you, or you get some type of ability, some super strength, whatever. You might be able to get some ability where you can breathe fire, not breathe fire, but shoot fire. Um, you never know what you get, or you could be impenetrable to bullets. So yeah, it's real interesting how seeing different people getting different abilities on there, and the overall story was dope. Um, I love the I love the plot, and even it reminded me a little bit of X-Men. Some of the elements in the movie reminded me a little bit of X-Men and the Weapon X program with Wolverine and some of the other, like how they used him as like a test subject for something. It kind of had a little bit of elements like that in it, um, in there. So I thought, but yeah, it was a good movie. So go ahead and check it out. I want to give it away, but when you see it, you'll see what I mean about it. I thought it was really dope. So yeah, go ahead and check it out. I enjoyed it a lot. Um, so we got the NBA playoffs started this week, and it's a different year. Obviously, they in the bubble. Every team is down there, Orlando, Florida. Nobody has a home court advantage. I know they trying to play like how teams got so-called home games, or they pumping the fake crowd noise when they make buckets or whatever. But it's not even close to being the same. Like it's not. Like, I mean, I think in general, I think a lot of people that I talk to that have been watching the games, they don't really miss the fans, and I don't really either. But I think when the playoffs, I think that's when people really gonna start missing the fans. I think that's when home court advantage really comes into play. Is the playoffs in basketball? It's a different element with football. Whether they're gonna have fans or not, that's gonna be interesting. Where home field advantage really matters in the NFL, but it's a different element with NBA. I think when now that the playoffs have started, um, I think yeah, some of the teams are starting to miss the fans. And I haven't been watching every game, but I saw the Lakers play last night, and I was extremely disappointed in the Lakers because Anthony Davis and LeBron James, the two team stars, didn't show up in the fourth quarter. I'm not gonna say they didn't show up, but in the fourth quarter, they definitely disappointed. Um, LeBron misses two key free throws at the end. Anthony Davis misses two key free throws at the end of the game. Anthony Davis, again, with only 2 points. This dude does not dominate in the fourth quarter. I don't know why. Like, is he afraid of the pressure? Like, LeBron has a history of showing up. He's known to be more passive. A lot of people say he don't got that killer instinct that Michael Jordan has. Whatever. I'm not going to debate that today, but I was disappointed overall in the Lakers. I feel like they should have done better. But I think the Lakers are in trouble. I think they are. Portland is a good ass team. They are. And then Damian Lillard is on fire right now. He had 34 last night. Um, it's gonna be interesting. It's because you got the Bucks to worry about in the playoffs. You got the Clippers. A lot of people say is gonna win the title this year. Uh, but yeah, I think the Lakers are in trouble. I'm not gonna go ahead and say it would be pretty bad if they lost in the first round with Anthony. All the trouble they went through to get Anthony Davis in the past off season. So yeah, that shit would be crazy if they lost in the first round. But I think it could happen. I heard Charles Barkley say, I think it was earlier today. He said that he predicted that the Blazers are going to sweep the Lakers in the first round. I'm not gonna go that far. I'm not. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna sweep the Lakers. I do think they're in trouble and they could possibly lose this series. But to say that Portland gonna sweep them 4-0, I don't see that happening. Because the Lakers defense, I think, is gonna show up one of these days. And Rajon Rondo was supposed to come back, I guess, in game two because he was out with an injury. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see. But I really cannot see the Lakers getting swept. If that would be a damn shame if they got swept. I'm sorry. That would be a motherfucking shame if the Lakers got swept. It really would. Not the shit on Portland because Portland is a damn good team, and they probably one of the best eighth seeds ever. But the Lakers are supposed to be a better team. I know Avery Bradley is very much missed, but I don't even think with Avery Bradley they would have won last night. I really don't. Not the way what they wish. Not the way that the Lakers are shooting. I really don't believe they would have won last night. Even with Avery Bradley playing this great defense. But we're gonna see how this goes between Dallas and uh, the Clippers. Who else played? Who else play? Let me see real quick. I forgot all the games. I had a bunch of other stuff going on too. But this NBA bubble has been surprising to a lot of people as far as how good it has turned out. So give credit to Adam Silver, definitely the GM of the NBA, and really to the players because they're the ones that go out and play the games. And a lot of games have been super competitive. So definitely kudos to all of them. So I think the Celtics probably, yeah, they're gonna win that series between the 76ers. They're already up 2-0. Denver and Utah, they tied, but Denver's probably gonna win that series. Um, Toronto. I know some people are saying they could beat Milwaukee and get to the finals because even they've been playing really good ball, and a lot of people think Nick Nurse, the coach of the Raptors, could possibly be the best coach in the NBA. And I mean, it's hard to argue that because he's been money. Like he galvanized all his troops to really play damn good basketball and got a better record going into the playoffs than they did last year, even with an All Star like Kawhi Leonard. So it's kind of hard to argue that. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. I'm gonna be tuned in when I can. So yeah, looking forward to that. As far as these NBA playoffs are concerned, I can't. And last thing I'm gonna say about these Lakers is, get it together, man. Come on, get it together. Come on, LeBron. Come on, AD. I really don't. I like the Lakers. I'm not trying to have a dog in this fight at all. But I expect better for superstars like that. Come on, them players are too damn good to let that go down like that. It's only game one. I don't like to be a prisoner of the moment, but the Lakers are in trouble. They are. They are very, very much in trouble. Um, so we are going to see how that plays out, and I can't wait. So, last thing I'm gonna talk about. I'm real fucking excited about this. I can't wait. Is anybody that knows me knows that other than Tupac Shakur, Nas is my favorite rapper of all time, other than Tupac. At Tupac, then Nas. Not only is Nas my second favorite rapper of all time, I will debate this with anybody. He is the greatest lyricist in hip hop history. It's not even close. Nasir Jones is the greatest lyricist of all time. And I say that to say Nas got a new album coming out this Friday. And I can't fucking wait. He dropped his first single last Friday. The first single is called Ultra Black, produced by Hit Boy. It's a dope record. I fuck with it. Nas is speaking power as far as black power. The record in itself is called Ultra Black. And this, if you haven't heard it yet, it's on all your streaming platforms. Nas Ultra Black on YouTube, all that. It's a dope record. And the name of his new album coming out Friday is called King's Disease. I believe it's 14 tracks on it. Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that because Nas has always delivered. And some people say that his last record with Kanye is real disappointing. And I could see that. Um, I think Nas wasn't in his element with Kanye. He was kind of out of pocket because I think it was rushed. That album was rushed. Anytime Nas got a rushed project, it doesn't turn out too well, and that doesn't happen very often because Nas. I honestly feel like Nas got at least 5 to 7 classic albums from obviously Illmatic to It Was Written. Obviously, I think I Am is a classic. That one don't get talked about as much. How could it not be with records like Hate Me Now? And Nas is like both of those records on that album. And I think the record with DMX is Slept On, Life Is What You Make It. That record is pretty dope and it's slept on. Um, I know Nostradamus, I think, is probably his weakest album. Um, don't got that many records that's that great on it. Stillmatic is another classic. Godson. Um, Hip Hop is Dead is a very, very slept on album. Very slept on. And I believe the Untitled album, which was going to be called the Nigga album, but Nas changed it. He said I never changed nothing. But yeah, he changed it obviously with that. If you know that album and the album cover, you know what it represents. And this that album, I spoke about that a few weeks ago on social media. That the Untitled album is actually very relevant to what's going on today, as far as the democracy, as far as police brutality, and how black people still are being, because they're at the bottom of the totem pole. That's why we got the Black Lives Matter movement. Um, and that album is actually very relevant to this day. Um, you should go listen to that album if you haven't. It's a dope project called Nas Untitled. Uh, and even I remember he was beefing with Fox News, and Bill O'Reilly. He had a petition, I think, to try and I don't know how successful he was with the petition, but I remember when it was going on, and Bill O'Reilly was calling out Nas, and Nas was calling him out. And yeah, I'm not sure how successful it was, but I remember when that was going on, it was a pretty big topic, and it was a dope album. And he even has a track on there called Sly Fox, calling out Fox News, how they toxic and how they lie and tell the truth, which is actually true. They do a lot of lying, and especially when it comes to the black community, anything they speak on. They even somebody from Fox News lied recently, um, when it came to with John Lewis, when they spoke about his death. They had a picture of someone else. Like, I know it's a stigma with some black people, with some white folks. They think all black people look alike. But come on, man, a cultural figure like John Lewis, and you put up a wrong picture, what the guy looks like. But yeah, the point is, yeah, that album that Nas put out is very relevant today. And even I think another classic that Nas got is Life is Good, the album that came out in 2012. That album has a lot of great records on it, especially the song with him and Amy Winehouse called Cherry Wine. That record is fire. The song Daughters is fire. Um, the first joint on there, No Introduction, is hard. A lot of that album is fire. And I remember it got rave reviews when it came out too. And people don't talk about that one as much, but I think Nas got a good at least five, and a good, I would argue, about seven. Anybody want to debate that with me? I'm willing to debate that with anybody. That Nas is the greatest lyricist ever, and that he got at least five classics. A conservative, I would say five, but I think he got seven classics at least. And this album coming out is number 13. Um, and I, and I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, any of you Nas heads, be interested to see what you think about that too. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm gonna be up on that. But yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna leave you with this. So yeah, again, go ahead and text that number 50409. Text UPS to 50409 to send letters to your senators, and only take a minute. Don't take that long. I did it this week. To stop this nonsense that Trump is trying to push. Dope 45 is trying to push as far as defunding the post office. We got to do what we can. Do that as far as Lyft and Uber. That business model they're trying to push. I spoke to someone this week that is a good business, that's been in business for a long time, and about that they don't have to choose that business model they're doing. That they're choosing that. Um, as far as if we have to pay employees, we can only hire 20% of y'all, and you have to have a strict set schedule. But yeah, and the last thing to say about that, Prop 22. I would suggest anyone go Google that Prop 22 for California. Explaining how they say you can keep your being an independent contractor for Lyft and get benefits. So go ahead and I would say research that before you go ahead and that's something you can vote on in November. So yeah, I would suggest everybody do their research on that. And that's it. That's all I got this week. A little bit longer, but a lot of things I had to get off my chest this week. We covered a lot of topics, but I feel like all of that had to be addressed. And appreciate you for anybody who listening with me. This has been another episode of the podcast. What's the word, LJ Mentor? I'm out.